Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is Marvel Legends Hulk Wave Ares in 4 minutes or less. Marvel Legends Hulk Wave Ares is a 6-inch scale action figure, but he's 7 inches at the top of his head and 8 inches at the top of his helmet brush. That means if Wolverine were standing right in front of him, Ares could still see what was on TV without having to move. Such is the power of a god. This figure is long in the making. The original release dates back to 2008 when he was the Build-A-Figure for a Walmart exclusive wave featuring characters like Crossbones, Kang, Guardian, and Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Underappreciated at the time by many, he very quickly shot up in secondary market value and has been getting more and more expensive with each passing day. His lower torso, or crotch, by itself regularly sells for over $30. While the two figures are fundamentally the same, there are aesthetic differences that clearly distinguish one from the other. Skin tone is different. The 2008 version had arm hair. His eyes have no pupils now. The spikes on his elbows are no longer silver. The skull and cross swords emblem on his chest is bigger. His knee pads are the same, but everything below the knee is newly sculpted. His sword and dagger and helmet are also the same 2008 sculpt, but with new paint treatments, and this time he's also packing an axe that could only be wielded by a god, or maybe the Hulk. Or I guess most of the Avengers. It's not magic or anything, but it's big and heavy, so probably most of the Avengers, some of the X-Men, Spider-Man thing, alright. Anyone with a max of peak human class strength could probably pick it up, but it would be useless in a fight for anything other than a shield. Superhuman class strength and above to be able to actually do anything with it. At this scale, that axe is 4 feet long down the handle and 3 feet wide across the blade. It's gotta weigh at least 300 pounds. Unless it's some kind of magical, lightweight Olympian metal. That's the thing with magic, it could go either way. I've wanted to add Ares to my collection for a long time, and I am very happy that he's available for regular retail price in theory, or at least a lot less than the 200 plus that he's been pushing on the secondary market for the last several years. I've been assembling the Build-A-Figure version, buying pieces and cashing in birthday present requests here and there since 2013, and still need his lower torso or crotch and right leg. And I still plan to finish the Build-A-Figure, especially now that this release and all the cheap Chinese knockoffs are in the process of gutting the secondary market prices. Surely there's a $10 crotch in my future. That said, I've got enough of the Build-A-Figure to be able to lament that the neck and hips didn't get any retooling. There's just nowhere to go with that neck. It's a gigantic ball and socket with just a whisper of room to look up and down. He can barely look straight ahead. If you want to attack this guy, just be right in front of him, but slightly above eye line. And he's got those old hips that should have stayed buried in the past. Those hips that you have to rotate before you can pivot them. It's an interesting piece of engineering, and I have never been diagnosed with OCD, but these trigger me. I can't have him standing with those hip balls rotated in different directions. They need to be perfectly aligned or I won't be able to put him back on the shelf, much less leave the room or sleep ever again. And be careful, it's still a Build-A-Figure at heart. In my attempts to get those hips perfectly aligned, his left leg popped right out of the socket as though the snap hadn't clicked fully into place, and now it pops out very easily. Engineering nitpicks aside, this is a great move by Hasbro, reissuing a figure that so many collectors have wanted for so long, and personally, I prefer the glossy helmet and larger skull and cross swords emblem on the newer version, so double high fives for that. If you never see this thing out in the wild and don't want to pay secondary market prices, then this is an easy pass. But if you've been watching prices for nearly a decade and can score one for close to retail, it's a must-have, so buy it if you see it, and if you see two, leave one for the next collector. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. If you're in the position to contribute, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/toygalaxy. Share this video and let us know in the comments if you A, have the 2008 Build-A-Figure, B, are keeping it or selling it, and C, if you're picking this one up or passing it based on your response to A and B.
It's a test?
It's not a joke, I'm serious.
Cut.